It is my pleasure to be joined by the head coach of the Thunder Basin Bolts, as they right now the number one team going into the state soccer championship tournament in Cheyenne this weekend, and their head coach Lyle Foster joins me. And Lyle, first of all, let's start with, how do you feel your team is playing right now going into state? You guys are undefeated on the season. How do you feel like your group is doing right now?
I think we're in a good spot. You know, our season has just been a progression of becoming better soccer players individually and collectively throughout the season. You know, pushing ourselves and to be better coaches and players, and just recognize our roles and responsibilities within our team. You know, I think this is something that we, you know, made a point of emphasis in establishing early in the season. And I think, you know, for the most part, we've embraced that. And I think we're in a pretty good place right now.
Well, talk a little bit about, you come off a big win in the regional title game against Sheridan, and maybe the match that's pushed you the most this year. Did that come at the right time, maybe to kind of, I don't know, maybe if it's a wake-up call, or just, you know, provide that incentive of, hey, we got to work this much harder just to attain our goal next weekend?
Yeah, you know, that game was a lot of fun. You know, the regional championship was a lot of fun to be a part of. Those type of games can certainly define who you are and draw clear, you know, show where you're at as a team. You know, Sheridan is a very good team. They're coached well. They have kids that bring it every time. And I think having student athletes in those high pressure situations has a healthy, profound impact on them. And, you know, but those are the games that truly make you better. You know, fortunately, we ended up on the right side of it. But either way, those games certainly have an impact on who you become as a team.
You had a successful state tournament last year, finished runner-up to Rock Springs. How much did your group learn from that experience and maybe take into this year?
Yeah, you know, that was a tough game for us. Obviously, you know, we certainly felt like there were some things that we could have done different, that didn't necessarily go the way we had hoped. You know, I don't know, you know, this year that we necessarily consider ourselves, you know, a tournament favorite or a state favorite. You know, we expect our execution and preparation to be at a high level all the time. You know, our approach tactically and mentally will be that of focus, and we'll do what we do. We have a certain style of soccer that we like to play. And as long as we can execute that and do those things continue to do those things at a high level, you know, I think we'll be fine. You know, we kind of always feel that our opponents, you know, regardless of who we play, you know, they always bring it. You know, they bring their best, and sometimes, you know, wearing that target, you know, if you will, is you know, not necessarily a bad thing. It's just how we respond to it. So I can tell you the girls have been looking forward to the state tournament for a long time. I think they're in a good place, and it should be a lot of fun. So
is this weekend more a mental approach versus physical? I mean, I know your team might be beat up because it's been a long season. You've played in various conditions. But is this more of a mental weekend than anything to try and push through and get things done the way you want them to?
Yeah, you know, I think you're probably right on that. You know, the mental focus, you know, it's for us, it's not going to change, you know, too much from what we've been doing to accomplish what this team has done so far. Is a testament to their commitment to be better every time we play. I don't know that expectation is going to change. I'm sure it won't. The difference between this team now and where we were last year was, you know, we actually have a majority of the team this year with playoff experience. Not that, you know, COVID is an excuse, but last year, a majority of our starting roster were sophomores, and they didn't have that experience. So taking everything into account, you know, the state tournament obviously brings with it a different level of expectations. And I'm interested in looking forward to seeing how we're going to respond to that, you know, as still a relatively young team, with the majority of those kids being juniors right now, and this being their second state appearance. So
how do you look at, how do you, sorry, Lyle, how do you look at the 4A bracket just overall, you know, with how, who's there and what the competition is going to be like this weekend?
Yeah, you know, it's, as coaches, we pay attention to those things, of course, and we look at the other side, on the west side of the state, and you know, we were fortunate to get to play a good Rock Springs team at the very first game of the year. And so, you know, but a lot of things change throughout the year. So we certainly can't say that, you know, Rock Springs is the same team, or Kelly Walsh is necessarily the same team that they were at the beginning of the year, which is our first round opponent, or, you know, or either Jackson or KW, right? Or Natrona, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Those four teams, it's, you know, you can see what you see on film, you can watch film, but until you take the field, you sometimes I think you have to just play the game to see what happens.
Lastly, what are some things that you need to see out of your team to be successful this weekend? I'm not asking for a game plan or for you to break down an opponent or anything. I'm just for your squad to focus on yourselves. What do you need to see out of your girls? Sure.
What I hope to see, and what I think we will see, is that same level of commitment. Okay. You know, had a great practice last night, very high level, you know, focus, physically and mentally. I think what we need to see is that same focus that we started the season with in game one. And I think we'll just see that throughout. If we can continue to do that, stay healthy, you know, physically, I think we'll be in a pretty favorable spot. I like to believe that, like I said, you know, another year of experience for all the girls who were in their first year last year. Experience plays a huge part of you know, regional and state tournaments. So, yeah.
All right, hey, with that, I appreciate your time, Lyle. Best luck this weekend in Cheyenne to you.
Okay, appreciate it.